What is up, YouTube fam? Robbie C here, and more importantly, what's up, Kyle? Hope you're doing okay. For the last 2 weeks on this channel, we have done the 2 weeks to Maple Hill series, and last Friday, that's right, we had the opportunity to go and try to do this.
He said, it's turning.
So catch me if I fall.
Guys, I want to tell you all about Maple Hill and the experience that we had at the Northeast Disc Golf Expo, because it was absolutely amazing, as well as sort of put a bow on thoughts that we learned in the 2 weeks to Maple Hill series when it came to my form overall. I'm out here at Magnolia Links Disc Golf Course, which is one of my favorite tracks in the area, but you probably can hear some construction going on in the background, so we're going to get away from these first few holes. Now, I love my Watermelon Halo polecat, but we had the opportunity to have the Birdie fam here in town, and thankfully Foundation took care of the players packs for that event. And we had some custom stamped polecats and some custom stamped Toros, and I've needed a backup for my Watermelon polecat for a while. So we're gonna play a one disc round today with just this new Birdie fam takes over Birmingham Star polecat with a little bunny foil on top of it. Should be a fun time. 190 feet first throw of the day. Whew. Get a little loose. So I am an extremely extroverted person. I love being around people, especially people that are positive and life-giving. It's like super easy for me to dive into those opportunities and spend a lot of time with people. So coming out of the Birdie Fam Takes Over Birmingham weekend, I was feeling pretty energized, but also I put on a lot of stuff for that weekend, so I was kind of exhausted, not to mention the physical fatigue of spending so much time working on our form, trying to quiet so many things down. Ooh, she's a new pole kitty. She's stable. Stable, and we threw her super nose up. I can say that Jesse and Josh and Mikey are some of my best friends in disc golf though. So knowing that I was gonna have the opportunity to spend a lot of time with them at the expo, on top of what we were experiencing at Maple Hill, got me pretty jazzed up and excited through the week. Ooh, that would have been fun. Had a final form work session with Mike on Wednesday night, and then we headed up to Maple Hill, headed up to Boston really, knowing that it was going to be a sort of trying experience because we were in the middle of form change. So what I was committing to was this grip tip that Mike had given me on over gripping the disc so that I could feel the sensation of the shot ripping out of my hands rather than me opening at that release point. So accuracy was not something that I was expecting, and at a course like Maple Hill, yeah, I knew it was going to be rough. So I also, being the southern boy who, like, in this weather right here, the sun's shining on me, I think it's like 50 or 55 degrees out today, and yet I'm still in a jacket and long sleeves because I get cold really easily. Let me just say that when we looked at Maple Hill, they made this post 2 days before we were actually supposed to play it. We don't get a lot of snow golf here in Birmingham, Alabama, and when it does snow, usually you can't actually get outside and go on the roads anyways, because we're not really prepared for it. So not something that I was like, oh yeah, I've got all this experience in snow golf, this is gonna be so easy, oh man. Well, flew into Boston, got to hang out with Jesse and Mikey and Josh as they got in. Also got to experience that barbershop quartets apparently don't make a great dinner experience when you're eating by yourself. Little did we know that there was also a barbershop quartet conference going on in the same hotel and place that we were doing the Northeast Disc Golf Expo. What a time that was. Sorry, Uncle Cracker, I will never enjoy the song Smile ever again. Anywho, Friday morning we wake up and Jesse and I go play around with an amazing guy named Chris, who has done a huge amount of work over on the side of Trash Panda, and Alex, who is a patron of Trash Panda and also a supporter, loves the Robbie C channel. Guys, it was super cool getting to hang out with them, and we got to play a round at the Pyramids Disc Golf Course, which is home of Marshall Street Disc Golf. But it was a nice little warm up, getting ourselves ready and getting used to the snow before we headed over to Maple Hill for our 1 o'clock tee time. Nope, that's a Mando missed. Now, you know that I try to keep things 100% real with you guys, and I think when we spend a lot of time doing form work or we've worked with a coach, we can put a lot of expectation or weight onto a round or onto this one experience. And really, if you look through the 2 weeks to Maple Hill series, I did this several times when I went back out to a course, expecting that a couple changes, we're gonna see dramatic changes in what I was doing for the game. Ooh, juiced it. As soon as we released it, a little tailwind got behind us. Whew. Pulling up to Maple Hill, I was just really nervous. I thought to myself, what if I like completely embarrass myself trying to get over this pond? It doesn't get remotely close. What a failure. All these eyes are on me. And it just like immediately the loud voices of all the people telling Robbie C that like, man, he's not worthy, all that, overshadowed all of the positive voices that you guys continue to bring. And so, yeah, super nervous as we pulled in. And that was until we saw the tee box of hole 1. Yeah, there's that polecat doing polecat things. Whoop, whoop. Maple Hill got anywhere from a foot to 3 feet of snow on any part of the course, and because of that, they had a tournament that day that they cleared off up to the white pads for in terms of like the most difficult layout they had. So lots of the gold pads were not even remotely cleared off, so they had a ton of snow on them. But we thought to ourselves, the dream of being able to play Maple Hill Golds up here has really just died instantaneously. We're just gonna have to play the whites and kind of experience Maple Hill, but not experience it for the gold layout. But Maple Hill Gold, hole 1, it's like right there. Can we at least clear off hole 1's pad ourselves and then try to play it and just see? Which is what we did. We had 7 guys up there using their shoes to push feet worth of snow off of the pad, as well as those frozen ice chunks that all of you who play in colder climates are familiar with. And we're like kicking the ice, trying to break it. And the footing on the first tee pad was legitimately terrifying. And talking to Mikey and Josh and Jesse afterwards, after we'd all thrown our shots, there was this like fear in our heads of like, okay, we may be somewhat okay with the footing here, but like we really don't want to like slip and hurt ourselves on hole 1 so that we ruin the rest of our like Maple Hill experience. So yeah, let's be real careful here on what we're trying to do. Definitely don't, want to injure ourselves. Eventually though, we had to throw our tee shots. And this is what happened for my first tee shot on hole 1.
His glasses, bro. He sent. It's turning. It's fading. It is. Oh! Whoa! Okay, that 40% came in stronger than we expected.
Remember the piece I said earlier about rolling into Maple Hill and the louder voices of people making comments or things of like how inferior I was, outshining the really positive, amazing people that were there to support me? Well, I want to say thank you to my caddy James, who had commented on videos asking to be on the bag and actually made it there. So James, you're the man. As we walked up to my tee shot and where it was, I was sitting so close to the water's edge of my disc being in bounds, and James kind of looked at me and said, you know, if you would have had any decent footing and actually been able to use the front of the box, you're in. You need to give yourself the credit here. Count it, dude. You threw a great shot. This one's inbounds. And so I think that some people can get out there and be like, wow, it wasn't actually inbounds. If you had it, you had it. But we're all about the victories here, and I don't think it's lying to myself, and I don't think it's deceptive or anything like that. I think we take the positive moment and we say that, man, like we felt good on the shot, we felt good throwing the disc, and we're there for the experience. And the experience is I was able to throw a shot on hole 1's gold pad and have a pretty good run at actually clearing it. And so mission success. It's really hard to entirely change your form in 2 weeks. And if we look at where my form was at the beginning of that time period to the end of the time period and actually being in Maple Hill, I feel like we saw some phenomenal changes to what we were doing, which ended up creating some really cool moments throughout the rest of the course. That would have been a fun little like kick off the tree to ace. You hear people say all the time that this course doesn't play as difficult, or it doesn't look as difficult on camera as it does in person. And I think there were a couple shots at Maple Hill that on camera just literally don't translate to how difficult they are, such as the gap on hole 4 is super small, but thanks to like all the work that we've done in form and working on upshots and things like that, we were able to dice up hole 4 pretty comfortably. But I'm not kidding, that gap is like maybe the size of your pantry door, which makes sense why so many people end up doing like weird shots on it and everything like that. Hole 1 is way farther than people give it credit for. The walk between hole 1 to hole 2 is crazy, because then like hole 6 is right there. So just even the layout of the whole course, hole 7 is way tighter than you would give it credit for. Hole 10 is so downhill, it's like crazy. There was just realization after realization the whole time we were playing, but it also led to some really fun moments, and there's one that I want to talk about in particular as we played this course, because I knew I was focusing on form change and just leaning into the moment and leaning into what we were working on. Now you're turning, okay. Interesting. So I actually talked to Josh before we went to Maple Hill about this tip that Strauss had given me in terms of holding onto the disc, sort of gripping it super hard so that you can feel the disc rip out, and like over gripping it, and the pros and cons of it, and telling Josh basically like, hey man, I need you to like help me stay accountable for this so that like I'm actually doing this while I'm out on the course. Ooh, this is tough. I don't even think a spin putt is going to do things for me. Yeah, that was a horrific idea. That's fine. So knowing accuracy was my issue. I'm trying to get power and spin to come out of the disc. So in doing this grip thing, I was feeling the disc rip out as I wanted to, but like I said, accuracy being an issue. We get to hole 15, Jesse throws one of the best drives that hole has probably ever seen before. Mikey steps up, throws a very similar shot. It's all the way down there, and I'm last on the box, ready to do my thing. I'm like preparing myself on hole 15, and I go to throw my drive, and I absolutely grip lock that thing, and it shoots so far off to the right. And people on the card, the caddies, Jesse, they're like, dude, what just happened there? Like, that was a proper shankaroni. And meanwhile, I'm telling myself like, hey, that was what we expect to happen. We held on to it. We had really good snap on it. We had really good hit on it. We did what we were supposed to. Thankfully, it hit a tree over there, because we hit that so hard and so well that it was going to go on forever. So yes, we missed the fairway, but we hit what we were trying to do and trying to make that form change. And when you're in the middle of form change, you just kind of have to believe like bad shots are going to happen with good feeling and good results, if that makes any sense. So coming out of my worst shank that I had the entire day, one of my only huge grip blocks to the right, we head into hole 16, which is the Kevin Jones slip ace hole. And you know what I tell myself on the tee box? Yeah, you just shanked it on hole 15. Do it again. I step up to the tee box, and I had a DGA sail in my hand as well as a G-Star turn, and I was telling myself, you know what? I don't think I want to hit the sail, because if I hit this properly and it turns over, it has no chance of coming back, whereas at least if I throw the turn and I hit it right, it's going to stand up and, for a lack of a better word, turn, moving off into the right side of the fairway, but it still will have some stability at the end to fade out and get me back where I need to be. So I voiced that out loud to Josh, and he was like, yeah, honestly, that makes sense. So I tossed the sail to the side, grabbed the turn, stepped up, telling myself, all right, grip it as tight as you can. Here we go, baby. Take it slow. Move through nice and slow, coiled, hit, bang, smash the shot, and we all watch as it sails down, moves to the right, comes out, fades back in, and lands right here. I was absolutely shocked that that disc got as far down the fairway as it did. Landed 55 feet away from the pin on that hole, making a well over 400-foot drive on that hole. There were shots all day, even like this one that Jesse got on hole 14, of throwing an evader out over the water, letting it fade back in. I don't think that I had to have good shots in order for this trip to Maple Hill to feel like a success. But having a few good shots was just so incredible to be able to play a pro layout, to be able to play a pro setup, and still be able to like just throw solid shots. We ended up being able to play, I believe it was 9 of the gold pads, and we had a phenomenal time out there at Maple Hill. And I can't imagine if we had that fun of a time with 3 feet of snow on the ground in some settings. Whew. I really thought that was going to roll in the water. That would have been a bummer. But yeah, with 3 feet of snow on the ground in multiple parts of the course and still enjoying as much as we did, I truly can't imagine how amazing of a track that would be without the snow. So definitely going to have to go back and check it out. Really looking forward to that moment. But the cool part is, y'all, that wasn't even really the best part of the weekend. The whole point of the trip was being there for the Northeast Disc Golf Expo, which means that we got to meet so many of you, the people that watch these videos. We got to meet so many amazing people that help lead industries and brands and amazing courses in the area at the Northeast Disc Golf Expo. We weren't there to play Maple Hill. We were there to meet y'all. I'm so grateful to Ben Kenny's, or Intern Ben, as some of y'all know him, for setting up this opportunity for us to be able to play. Just amazing to be part of the first ever expo in disc golf in person for the people, not for the industry conference, not for the companies, just a chance for the people who help grow this sport. This sport isn't going to grow because of the pros. This sport isn't going to grow because of manufacturers. This sport is going to grow because of each and every one of you continuing to watch, support, and fall more in love with disc golf. And so it was awesome getting to meet y'all, getting to hear your stories, getting to hear that somehow the Robbie C disc golf channel, Robbie C brand, has been able to have a positive influence on this sport. It's a reminder of how we opened the video talking about how easy it is to let the negative voices and the negative comments be so much louder than the positive comments. But that's not what we're here for. We are here to spread positivity, to help make your week amazing, and please make it fantastic for someone else too. It's crazy. I got to meet Corey in person, who is the mastermind of Circle One, who's been doing amazing things. I got to meet Miles from Paragon, who, like, literally, if you see a shirt from Discmania, Discraft, the Pro Tour, like major brands, you see them wearing like branded stuff. Yeah, Miles is the one who makes it happen. Miles is the one who works overnight to make sure that quality products are getting out. Like, guys, it was crazy. I got to meet the guy who owns Meadowbrook Disc Golf Course, which is super beautiful. Got to meet the people at 501. Got to meet Disc Golf Bra, Jim and Jamie, just tearing it up over there. I got to meet Eric, the community manager at MVP, who, like, y'all, if you don't realize this, MVP literally has someone whose like sole job is to reach out and connect with people in the community. We talked about Reddit, like, Eric is reading Reddit comments about MVP because Gyro cares that much. I mean, that was like inspiring enough for me to be like, bro, do I need to go all gyro? I got to meet Juge, who is leading out in Northeast Women's Disc Golf, who had the largest women's global event. They had like over 90 people at their women's global event. They're doing things that I'm like, why is no one else doing this in women's disc golf? Because, like, there's no reason for us to just sit back and hope that this is growing, hope that this is happening. No, those ladies are getting after it and killing it. Like, I'm so fired up about the amazing people who are at that conference running it, like, just as vendors. We're not even talking about, we got Casey Buckey with Grow the Sport. We got Casey De La Pena, who's Disc Golf Girl, coming in doing her thing. Like, y'all, over 1,100 people showed up to this event. History was made. And, like, for some reason, Ben believed in me, Overthrow, and Trashman, and was like, hey, what's it going to take to get you guys there? I cannot overstate how cool it was to be invited and be included in that, like, kind of an opportunity. Dude, just, okay. I was like, wow, are we gonna close this excitement hole out with an ace? That'd be crazy. So the Union Square Disc Golf, the Nick and Matt show, like Evan from Stat Mando. Guys, there are so many people that just walked up, and we have this like thing in social media where we're like, Robbie, I eat dinner with you every Thursday when I watch your video. I definitely think some people could be like freaked out or weirded out by that, but that ain't me, brother. Like, I love it. I absolutely love the fact when people walk up and treat me like family that we've not seen in such a long time. I'm just so grateful to all the people that made me feel so welcomed and like such a part of your family, a part of your crew. And that's what we wanted to do from day one. We built a platform to help raise and elevate the positivity and voices of others. So the chance to be part of your disc golf story is an honor that I do not take lightly here on the Robbie C channel. So 2 weeks to Maple Hill. Was it a success in terms of what we wanted to accomplish with our form? Honestly, I think yeah, and I think that it was way more than we could have asked for, and also has laid some really solid groundwork, yeah, has also laid some really solid groundwork for Mike and I to continue to build on and hopefully see some huge progress and form changes, because y'all, guess really the big thing we got our eyes set on coming up in the near future is Creators Cup. Not playing any sanctioned events, that seems to be about the biggest title that we could take home this year, and North Cove's gonna have some distance, so we need to make sure that we got distance dialed up and ready to go, because Bogey Bros mean business. The greater reason that 2 weeks to Maple Hill was a success was because of y'all. It is so inspiring, and I've come back from this trip more fired up than ever before, ready to dive in and see what we can do to help grow this sport, to help train beginners, educate beginners, and help bring others into this platform, so that the blessing you bestowed upon me by hitting that subscribe button and liking and commenting and watching these videos and allowing me to do this full time, that I can bless that upon other people to help raise and elevate their voices at the same time. So thank you for all of the kind words that so many of you shared with me in the booth, on the floor, things like that. And for all of you who were not there but still rooting me on in the comments to be able to do this, thank you. It was so awesome to be able to carry that with me on the course while we were out at Maple Hill. It was an experience that I will truly never forget. Well, that got really sneaky. Whew. Speaking of sneaky, number one comment that I got over and over again is, wow, Robbie, you are way taller than I thought you were in person. In case you guys don't know, I'm 6'3". I'm a tall boy. So that's gonna wrap it up for today's video, summarizing our journey and experience up at the Northeast Disc Golf Expo. Hope you guys enjoyed that, and once again, just thank you to each and every one of you. I know this wouldn't be possible without y'all, and I never take that for granted. So in the meantime, I wanna say thank you for watching. I hope you have an amazing rest of the day, and that you can make it fantastic for someone else too. I'm gonna go throw this polecat into a couple more trees, but it's incredible, just the beauty of one disc round. It's already starting to fly sort of more like a natural polecat. So I need to get to that and keep working on my form. But for now, I'm gonna leave you with the birdie.